I was having a chat with somebody yesterday, somebody who stopped drinking alcohol, about the effect of alcohol on someone who is very close to them. I'm not going to mention names here for obvious reasons, but we were talking about how we see other people who are drinking, in the process of drinking, right in front of us. Not because they're taking a drink, but because of the changes that are happening to them in that person because they're under the influence of alcohol. Now, as you can imagine, I've been around a lot of drunken people in my life, right? When you're around people who are drunk, but you're also drunk, you don't notice the change. I've also worked in bars at some points in my youth, and you do notice the change in someone or the group in general, the more the alcohol flows, but it's a different thing. But what we were talking about was being sober and watching the change happening in the moment in somebody that you're close to. Now, I've spoken about this before. I don't like being around my family or my close friends anymore when they're drinking, or should I say when their behavior changes because of their drinking, right? Now, in the context of the person who I was having this conversation with yesterday, they were talking about their partner, obviously somebody they know very well. And she is a person who doesn't in general drink very often, I'll give her that, right? But she does drink, or when she does drink, she likes to get drunk. And he was saying that when his partner gets drunk, he doesn't know what to say to her. He doesn't know how to respond to her anymore. He was saying that what she says to him changes. How she says these things change. And it's as if they've become a different person, someone they don't know anymore, right? It's someone like that he doesn't like very much, right? Like somebody stupid or moronic, or a different person of the version that he loves, right? So this is kind of like the thing that I watch when I see my family getting drunk. They do things, they say things that are obviously coming from a drunken state. They certainly seem like they're coming from this place of stupidity, according to me. But I don't particularly like this version of them. Do you get what I mean? So I was watching this guy yesterday called Joey Diaz, and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think he's a regular contributor, and he was talking about how he stumbled into his parents or somebody older than him watching the old movie version of The Exorcist, and a pretty scary movie, right? For an adult, never mind for a kid. So I suppose this has a little bearing on what I'm going to say next. When I see somebody close to me who's getting drunk and they're talking shite, acting like an idiot, especially someone who I respect, it almost feels like they're a little bit possessed. It's like that Jekyll and Hyde thing that I've talked about with myself a lot of the time. It is what it is, right? I always make sure that I'm not around those people anymore once they get into that state. I'm saying this because it's something that really affects me, right? These are things that I could hide away from when I was drinking. From myself, my own behavior as well as others. And it's a conscious or it's an unconscious thing that I'm doing to hide from myself when I'm drunk. I can't do that when I'm sober. I think it's the same result anyway. But, this is part of my journey that I didn't expect. But it's something I can't forget about either. Memories are strange. Sometimes you'll remember something, but not remember the exact context that it was done, right? You'll remember something somebody said, or a feeling that you got from somebody, good or bad, but you won't remember how or where or why it was said, but you'll remember how it made you feel, maybe. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. When you're drunk as well, you don't have the burden of these memories, but your memory when you're sober is a different beast, right? Most of the time, that's a brilliant thing. Everything about who you are and your life up to now is built and bound in by that memory or those memories. So the only way to avoid the negative side of these things, for me especially, is to understand where these kind of things are going to pop up, and I do my best to avoid them, right? When people are out of sight, they're out of mind. So I just wanted to say today, this is just one of those things that annoys me sometimes, but it is what it is. So take care of yourself, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, onwards and upwards. Bye now.